Rugby World Rankings after 4 weeks of Six Nations action, folks. How have the tables changed? Because we do see some changes to the World Rankings at the minute. And what are the possible permutations going into that final action-packed week? Well, I'm wearing New Zealand gear because New Zealand are up into second spot. How did that happen? New Zealand haven't been playing. Neither of the Boks are still in first. But the fact that New Zealand have gone into second is mainly because Ireland dropped below them. With that loss to the French, Ireland dropped 1.65 Rugby World Rankings points, which sees them fall below New Zealand's total of 90.36. So New Zealand, by doing nothing, are up into second. Ireland have dropped into third. France, who took those 1.65 points, are still in fourth. It sometimes begs the question from people, how can France be below Ireland when they just beat Ireland? I guess it's because the Rugby World Rankings don't really work like... It's not like boxing where if you beat them, you take their title. It's more just like a league table. Every time you beat them, you take a predetermined number of points based on where your guys' rankings were. So they took a decent amount of points. France, just not enough to pass the Irish. But they are very, very close behind them. Argentina are still there in fifth. And England are in that precarious spot of sixth, which I've talked about a few times because that's the limit of the teams that will be seeded as a top seed at the next World Cup, at the next World Cup draw. So sixth is good, seventh is bad. Kind of. I mean, obviously seventh is better than 13th, but if you could pick sixth, that'd be a good one to be in. England did actually extend their gap over the Scots between sixth and seventh with their win over the Italians, which is, I guess, an endorsement of where the Italians are at, because in previous Six Nations, Italy was so far behind everybody else that you couldn't take points off them, because remember, you can't take points off a team which is 10 points or more below you, but England and Italy are close enough that England took some points. Not much, 0.11, but it's better than nothing. The Scots, with their win over the Welsh, didn't take anything. You may look at the numbers and go, wait, Scotland's on 82, Wales is on 73. That's less than 10, but remember, Scotland were at home, so Scotland scored at +3, means the gap was too big for the Scots to take anything. So despite the win, nothing doing from them, which is an unfortunate one, given that they would like to chase England down for that sixth spot. Australia, Fiji, and then Italy, who lost 0.11. And then the rest of the teams you can see from Georgia all the way down to like the Netherlands, who are in 24th spot. I've got 24 teams on the board because that's how many will be at the next World Cup. What are the possible permutations for the next round of Six Nations? Obviously, Six Nations itself is the main prize, but how does it affect the world rankings? France, can they close the gap on the Irish? Can they take the spot from Ireland in terms of getting third? No. Well, Ireland would need to lose. France can't do anything themselves to take the Irish spot because, again, they are playing the Scots. The gap between those sides is less than 10. But with France being at home, they'll be scored at +3, so they'll be scored at 92.51, which is too far ahead of Scotland's 82.36 to take any points. So no matter if France win by 1 or win by 100, they are not going to take any points off the Scots. Whereas if the Scots were to pull off an upset, they could take at least 2 points off the French, which would be massive in their mission to chase down that sixth spot in the world rankings. So a little bit of extra motivation for the Scots in terms of wanting to be a first seed. Wales can pass Georgia if they were to beat England, which would be a welcome one because Wales are teetering on the verge of that next seeding as well. If they were to keep dropping down the world rankings, they would legit be a third seed team rather than a second seed. England can't catch Argentina, but they can close the gap if they were to get a win over the Welsh. Ireland, they can take points off Italy, but very few. The gap is, again, so much that they'll be taking like less than 0.2, so it won't be a huge gain. But if Italy were to get up, Ireland would drop to fourth in the world below the French. The Italians can't quite catch Fiji yet, but it would certainly close the gap between those sides if the Italians were to pull off a massive upset. So yes, some very interesting Six Nations fixtures, obviously with Ireland, England and France still in the run for the title. I guess technically Scotland as well, if they were to get, like, it's one of those mathematical ones. They would need every result to go their way and then a massive margin in their game. But yeah, it's going to be a cracking final week of the Six Nations. But for this week, it's New Zealand who are the winners in terms of just going up a spot. We'll see how things play out in the final round. You guys let us know your thoughts, how fair or not you reckon the rankings are. Subscribe to the channel if you want more rugby stuff, because we'll be doing more. Take care, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.